Hello guys, so I'm Vians, she's Jam. During COVID we were really thinking about what to do with our time, and we wanted to be productive, and so we wanted to start this channel to be able to encourage you. And so here we are, we're taking our first video.
Yeah, we would also like to greet our wider BGC family. We've postponed the sessions for a few Fridays now because of the quarantine, and this is, as promised, this is one of the creative ways that we can still connect with you guys. So the past few days we've been doing our devotionals, and again, because of the quarantine, we have more time on our hands than usual. So I'll just be reading a text from Matthew 25 that starts with verse 14. Some of you are probably familiar with it already. It's the parable of the three servants.
Now, what did you learn from that, Jam?
So as we were reflecting on these verses, the first thing that came into my mind was the master actually entrusted each of the three servants with something. So to one he gave 5, to the other he gave 2, and to the last one he gave 1. So the text was clear that the master, the term used was that he entrusted his money to them. A lot of times, even I find myself sometimes complaining where the times where I can't accomplish something. So I find myself saying things like, I don't have much skill, or I don't have much resources. I can't do this to serve God because I don't, I'm not, what I have is not enough. But then this text really reminded me that God entrusted us with something, whether it's 5 talents, 2 talents, 1. He did entrust us with something. So as believers, we're not entrusted with nothing. Each of us has been given by God with something, and that's really a truth that I hold dear now. And the second thing that I learned is that if you progress through the text, it says the master was full of praise, right? And he said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in handling this small amount, so now I will give you many more responsibilities." Now you would expect that he would only say this to the servant who had 5 talents and doubled it to 10. But if you notice, it was the same words of affirmation that he also said to the servant with 2 talents and doubled it into 4. So again, that's another truth that I am really glad as a believer, because it means that what we have, how much we've been given, is not as valuable as what we do with what we've been given. So it doesn't matter how much we've been given. The important thing, what really unlocks the master's joy, and for us as believers, what really unlocks God's joy, is what we do, how we maximize the opportunities we have, how we maximize the talents and the gifts that He has entrusted to us.
I think that's very comforting, because maybe some of us sitting here and listening to this, we think we're a two-person talent, and we don't usually associate ourselves with the 5-person talent.
Yeah.
We're not the top. We think we're not to that level, and I think it's comforting even for me to know that whether I'm given 2, 3, 4, as long as I make the most with what I've been given, the master is happy.
Yes.
And he says, "Well done, good and faithful servant." So I find joy and peace knowing that I'm able to maximize. As long as I'm able to maximize what I've been given, God is happy. And so I just want to ask a question. When you're, I know, how do you apply that in your life, or how have you applied that in your life, Jam?
Well, that's a surprise question that wasn't part of the script. So we were thinking that earlier this week, when the quarantine started, right, that we've been in a lockdown, and because we have more time now that we're at home, sometimes you just have the tendency to go with the flow. So all of us, I don't know how many of you guys have been watching Netflix for a really long time in a day. I'm guilty. So that's where kind of all the productivity I've been doing, aside from of course doing the daily devotionals and the prayer time. But that's it's guilty feeling that I haven't been as productive as I want to, and that's actually the reason why we brainstormed on how we can maximize the greatest resource that we have right now, which is time. So we don't want to, just go with the flow with this quarantine and just sleep and eat, and of course we're still doing our work, but the greatest resource that we have right now is time. So doing this video and connecting with you guys and even our wider BGC family is one of the ways that we have been trying to maximize this opportunity.
Yep. So just to build on that, the reason why we started this this channel is to maximize the time that we've been given. So the talents can mean time. For us, we think that because we've been given this much time, we have to make the most out of this. Since we're no longer traveling 2 hours, 4 hours a day, we're able to use that and create this content for you, to encourage you. I hope you've learned something today, and it's an honor to sort of add and build on you, and we're happy to see you, and we want to continually add more content. So bye guys, see you soon.